Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pole on the Call podcast. My name is Mandy Mac,
And I'm Chris Rivers.
and today we are so excited to be here with the amazing Mathilde of Ayesha Pole.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks so much for meeting with us and being willing to share your story. And
Yes,
as we
thank you.
just learned, you were from was it Montreal?
Yeah, Montreal.
Excellent.
Exciting. Awesome. So we'll dive right into it. So what started your pole journey? How did that start?
Yeah, so I started like a lot of newer pole dancers during COVID. I had a friend or a friend of a friend who started. She told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds like fun. Sounds like a group activity that I can do finally." To see new faces because I think it was in 2021 or 22. But we still had COVID restrictions in Montreal, so it was kind of getting on everyone's nerves. And I just love trying new ways to move my body. And also with the disability at my ankle that I have that we can talk about later as well, there's not a lot of new things that I can try out in terms of sports. And I thought this could be one that I could actually do. So yeah, I tried it out and then it's been like 2 years, 2 years and a half now. Um, and it's a slow progress sometimes, but I love it.
Love it. Great. I'm happy that you mentioned it's a slow progress because it is. It's a journey.
Yeah. And I had background in dance. I wasn't very good at it, but I did dance for a long time when I was a kid. And then I've done like Pilates and yoga and stuff. So it's not like I came from nowhere, but it was still a journey.
I believe it. And I can't even imagine. You mentioned about the ankle disability. I can't even imagine having to go through it with that. Do you mind maybe, I guess since you brought it up, going into it?
Yeah, sure. So it's not something that I was born with. I fell off a horse when I was 16 or so, which essentially shattered all the cartilage that's in my right ankle. Um, and the bones they're able to fix, they put screws and stuff, and that goes well. But the cartilage, after about when you're a teenager, it doesn't really grow back anymore. So it can't be fixed. So now essentially what I have is a type of extreme arthritis, which I can't, for example, flex my foot or point it all the way. I can't like jump or run. So for physical activity, it's not the best. Like I had to stop doing, all the types of dancing where you're essentially on the ground because you use you're on your foot, on your feet. So can't really do that. Um, but yeah, it's been a while now, so I've like learned to, shape my life around it. Um, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I can't even imagine. You look so young too, and to be going through that.
Right. To be
Um,
dealing with that now. Yeah. Ah,
Yeah, it always sounds like a lot for people who hear it for the first time, but I've lived for like almost 10 years with this now, so it's like just normal life, you know?
okay. Oh man, but I can like all the dancing of like turning and everything, but now you're able to like turn and spin again because of pole.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
to like modify some things. Like I don't do a lot of floor work, for example. That's not like my thing. Um, but yeah, you just do what you have and pole dance, I can do almost everything, so still fun.
yes, wow. What would you say, or do you have any advice or tips to other people who might be going through the same struggle? Because you mentioned that you've been living with this for 10 years. So I'm sure you've learned so much, but anything you can share with anybody out there who might be going through the same thing?
Yeah, I guess it's very difficult to give like advice that applies to everyone because everyone would like not everyone has the same disability. Um but I think pole made me realize that a lot of people just have different restrictions with their bodies. Even if they're not disabled, like I heard the other day in my pole class, someone complaining that they had their arms were too short for a move. Like everyone has to adapt the moves, especially as you go into the higher levels. When you move on from basic and level one, you just notice that more and more. And I think an important part as well is just finding a studio and teachers that make you feel comfortable enough that like they're not gonna be mad if like you don't practice your bad side or like the side where you can't do the move, or if you modify a move, or you can even ask them for help. They can help. Or sometimes just skip a move if you can't do it, that's completely fine.
I love that. Thank you for being honest, because it's important to hear. I find a lot of students will keep trying, even just to because they either feel like they have to or because they want to really try. And it's okay not to. It's okay to say, not today, say, and it's not happening. I'm not going to try it.
Yeah, it's better to, or in my opinion, what I think is it's better to just like listen to your body and take it slow. Um, but even if you take it slow for like a year, you'll still have progress. Better than going hardcore for a month and then having to rest for six because you injured yourself.
Yes, 100%. That's the thing, right? And everyone's body is different anyway. So like pole dancing, it's so fun how like everyone just finds a place on the pole no matter, what. We just all dance. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want to go ahead, Mandy? I got one, but go ahead.
I was going to ask where you take pole dance classes.
Yay.
Yes, so still at the studio where I started. It's Milan Pole Dance Studio in Montreal. I just love it. I've took some classes at other studios. I just didn't like it as much, so I stuck with them. Um, and I usually love taking classes with Isabel, Luca, and Amélie as well. They're my favorite teachers there. People in Montreal will know them.
Excellent. What type of style of pole do you like the best?
I usually take classes that are centered around combos or just new tricks. I really love my goal for my pole dance style is I've been seeing a lot of videos recently on Instagram that look, and classical dancers will probably hate me for saying this, but they look almost like it's ballet on the pole. Like they're super elegant and it just seems like they're flying. I love that. That's what I want to achieve.
I love that too.
That sounds so fun. I hope and can't wait to see it. Oh, so much
Yeah.
conditioning coming your way. So much conditioning. Oh, I can't wait. It is beautiful. I wonder if it is it like classical or contemporary pole? Because I've seen similar, and you're right, the ballet dancers might get mad, but I think there's a name. It's like contemporary or classic pole.
Yeah, I haven't seen any classes. Like I know in my studio they do contemporary, but it's a
Mhm.
bit different than that. It's a lot of floor and not a lot of tricks. I don't know, maybe there could be a new class called classical or ballet pole or something. It would be fun.
Yeah. OMG. And you could be the one to teach it. I love it.
Speaking of teaching, do you have any aspire wish to teach in the future or
Um, I haven't thought about it at all. I think I'm still at a level where I haven't considered it. Um, I don't know, maybe we'll see where life takes me. Do have like normal day job 9 to 5 next to the pool stuff. Yeah, we'll see.
Love it.
I know, I definitely understand. I have the 9 to 5 too, and working to get it all over. It's fun. And speaking of that, you started Ayesha Pole, which so you're working a muggle job, which is the 9 to 5, and then you're doing Ayesha Pole, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
May we go into that if you
Mhm.
don't mind? I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, so Ayesha Pole is a brand of pulwear that I started about 6 months ago during the summer. And I started really small because I didn't want to get in over my head. I actually started, I had been thinking about it for a couple of months before I started. And then the company that I was working with, they had group layoffs, as so many have been doing in this period. And so, I was on vacation. I had time. I had a bit of money saved up from my past job. I thought now is probably the best time to do it. Like if I don't launch anything now, I might never do anything. Um, so I sketch some designs really quickly, send them to a factory, and then there's this back and forth of getting the samples and then telling them, oh, I want to change this, sending it back, then passing the entire order. I had some struggles along the way. This was like my first venture into anything business-like, so I learned a lot as well. And now I have the website is up. I'm selling some. I have 3 sets, and hopefully I will be expanding with new collections soon.
I love
Uh,
the website. It looks really great, and the three styles look really beautiful as well.
Thank
uh,
you.
and that's genius. So you outsourced your designs that you created and had someone else. I didn't even know you could do that. That's absolutely genius.
Yeah, I thought about making at least the prototypes myself. But I would have had to learn a lot of sewing skills that I didn't have. So I thought it would just be quicker if I send them. And a lot of factories, uh, maybe just the smaller ones, I'm working with quite a small one. They can just do the samples for you, and they're used to working with smaller businesses. So it works really well.
That's so awesome to know, because then you don't have to know how to sew, like you were saying. That's such a barrier. It's such a time-consuming barrier to sew everything. Yeah. That's awesome. Wow, that's so stressful too. Like, did you know the steps that you had to take?
Um, I drew out a sort of plan for myself that I ended up not really following in the end. But yeah, I mean, it's not, I was never rushed to do anything because pull sets, if you don't want to work for 3 months, then they'll just sit there and they're not going to perish or anything. So you can really take it at your own rhythm. Um, Yeah, I did have struggles though with we did a photo shoot for the pictures on the websites. That was such a hassle. I found because I didn't have a lot of budget for anything that was not just creating the pull sets. And so I found a new photographer on Facebook who very nice, amazing photographer, and she really wanted to do some brand pictures, some product pictures. So we worked together. And I had some models as well who just wanted to expand their portfolio. So essentially, we were all just working together to expand our knowledge and our portfolio. So for smaller fees, which was really great. But then turns out I had booked the studio for the wrong day. So when we went in, I had to call them and convince them to let us in. Thankfully, there was no one there at the time that we went. So we were still able to go in the studio, but then 2 out of the 3 models that I had booked didn't show up either. So I had to model, which was such a new experience for me. Like, I hate being taken, I hate people taking pictures of me. So modeling was like, I didn't really like the experience and I wasn't used to it as well. So you can see sometimes in the pictures, like when I'm next to the actual model. I look so stiff and like I don't know how to pose or anything. When I got the pictures back, I was like, oh my God, no one's ever gonna buy this. But it is selling, so you're always your own worst critic.
I was like, I couldn't even tell. That website looks so good. I also wanted to mention too, I appreciated that you had on the same page the tops and the bottoms. Because
Mhm.
I always, when I shop on websites, I'll have to like open the top in a new tab and then the bottom in a new tab and then purchase them that way. But you have them like both together. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's a bit of a technical difficulty. But yeah, I thought that would be the easiest, so
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing the struggles too, because it the behind the scenes of what people don't see
yeah.
to get the greatness on the site. Yeah.
For real. And I love how you mentioned that you networked with other small businesses. Um, that's awesome. It really helps save money and it's great for everybody, like you said. That's
Yeah, I really noticed in the like doing this made me notice that in the pole community, it's just a lot of small business owners who own the studios, who have brands related to pole dancing and everything, and everyone is so like help happy and willing to help you. It's really amazing. Yeah.
it
Yes.
is. It's really about the networking. I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, thank you
Yes.
for sharing all of that advice. Do you have any other advice for entrepreneurs looking to get into the pole business, pole clothing
Um,
business?
I would say just like take the calculated risk. As long as you're not putting all your savings in it, then go for it. And yeah, like the word, like I've been as part of the whole marketing process, and I've been working a bit with influencers and pole studios as well. I've been reaching out to people. I reached out to you guys as well to be on the podcast, and that takes a bit of courage at first because like, oh, are they going to reply? Who am I? I'm just this random nobody. But the worst thing that they can say is no or not reply. So it's not really that bad, and you'll probably get some good out of it.
I love that you bring that up because as pole dancers and pole entrepreneurs, we all suffer from that imposter syndrome, all of us. Yeah, it's like you said, we all think, who am I? And we won't know until we actually try, which I'm learning now. So thank you for sharing.
2024, do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
For
talked about your favorite style of pole dancing. Do you have a favorite pole trick?
sure.
Yeah. My favorite pole trick is probably the mermaid where you're like inverted. It's on probably like 1/3 of the pole dance videos that I post online. Just when I don't know what to do, I just do the trick. It was probably one of the first tricks or first more advanced tricks that I managed to do with some ease. And I don't know, it just stuck.
Love
That is
it.
that is too funny that you brought it up because I've never seen Mermaid, and then this past weekend a student asked for it, and it is a beautiful trick. So it's so funny that you brought it up a couple days later.
Love it.
It's time for mermaid.
Yeah. So, do you have a pole nemesis, something that you're just like, oh my?
Yeah, I hate anything that has to do with back bends. Unfortunately, I'm just not my thing. I'm really not good at them. So every time you have back bends, it's ugh. And then probably anything with the banana foot grip as well. I can do it on my left side, but on my right side with my ankle, I'm just like, technically it works, but I'm not secure at all. So I won't do it.
I definitely understand that banana foot issue.
Mhm.
Mm. And I'm also not a fan of back bends, but that's
Yeah,
on my list to change.
yeah, I want to work on them, but they're so much slower to get the flexibility in your back than anything else. It's
Right? I feel that way. Yeah, it's been that's such a journey, like decades.
yeah.
Oh,
because not only do you have to do the back bends, but you have to work on the thoracic rotation and get it. Oh, it's I found
right?
splits much easier.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm working on my splits right now and much better. I can see the progress. It's much more satisfying.
Yes. Love it. Do you have a particular hand and body grip that you use on the pole?
I use mostly dry hands and gravity grip. And then also a lot of shaving cream for my legs because I get so dry. I moisturize every day, but they still get super dry.
So
I
you
forgot
use
about that.
so you use the shaving cream when you pull?
Yeah, just like on my legs or on my arms as well sometimes.
I'm gonna have to try that. Wow.
Right, I forgot using that. That's what we used when we first started in the studio.
I love it. See, we learn something every time.
It works quite well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I should go back to it too because I'm allergic to a lot of the stuff now, so I only have like the Loop It pad. But
Mhm.
maybe the shaving cream will be fine for me.
Does it have to
Yeah,
be like the white foam shaving cream or like gel shaving cream?
I have the most basic one, like white foam. It's not even a brand name, it's like the pharmacy one or something. It
I
works.
love it.
Excellent.
Oh, gee. God, I have a bottle of that in my thing too. Let me stop.
Yeah, that'd be easy to stock at the studio too.
It
Sorry, we're
would.
just going on and on about shaving cream now.
I mean, it's fascinating. I've never heard it. Thank you for bringing it up. Funny. So, do you have any performance or competition memories or experiences you want to go into?
I haven't done any performance competition. I'm not sure that I would do any. I have some like bad memories from doing competitions since I've had my disability. Like I used to play piano, and because I can't do the pedal with my right foot, I would have to do it with my left foot, which is not the correct way. And I remember I got marked down for that, which I hated. So I don't think that I would do a competition just because I know that there's some like technical points that I just couldn't get, no matter how hard I try, and I don't really want to inflict that on myself. Um, but yeah, I will be just practicing for myself and filming my new moves, just for fun.
That's the best way anyway.
It is. I definitely understand the. I wish competitions were different. Like, it shouldn't matter about. I mean, I understand the pointed foot, flex foot thing, but it shouldn't matter. It should be about the artistry of it, the performance itself, what you bring to us, how you make us feel. But I understand creating for ourselves is definitely much better.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe I don't know if there are any like special competitions that are.
Yes, the pole circus, you have to do it.
Oh, really?
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
we interviewed her, oh God, our first year. We learned so much, and it's not with the technicality. We actually just judged it this past October. It was
It's
more about the
virtual.
artistry. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's also virtual, and you can
Yeah.
create full choreo or edited choreo.
Yeah, you can go all out with the edited video and everything.
Yeah, it's a nice
Or
place
you
to
could just do a
debut
routine,
tools.
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I have to look into that.
Right.
Yes,
I feel like there's a few other pole competition opportunities, but in the
exotic
long run
generation.
but in the long run it is better to just pull for yourself.
Is I'm learning that. And performing, I find, is more better than competing. Performing, like no one cares about all that small stuff. So
Yes.
if you ever get to perform for an audience, like no competition, you definitely should. You get such a high.
Yes. Well, do you have any things coming soon for you for pole dance or for Ayesha Pole?
Yes.
Um, Things coming soon. I will be hopefully sponsoring. I've done in the past sponsorships with pole dance studios. So for their showcases, for example, being a sponsor to the event as Aisha Pole Dance. So participants can get discounts or things like that. So I'm planning on doing more of those in 2024. Um, I'm also um, will be moving more into the wholesale space rather than selling things directly to clients, just because I'm figuring out that social media and marketing is not necessarily what I am the best at. And I would much rather just be doing like networking and more like business-y things. So yeah, maybe soon you will see some Aisha pole sets in your studios.
That sounds so amazing. And you should
Oh,
hire
absolutely.
assistants.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you ever want sponsor, we will gladly talk to you about it. We love it. We're slowly working on that networking too.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe Pole on the Call could be an affiliate of Ayesha Pole. That'd be cool.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Love
Um,
it.
so you just ask yourself any plans. Where do you hope to see yourself in 5 years?
Hmm. In 5 years, I hope that I will have progressed in my pole journey. Um, Maybe doing more like improvisations in my dance routines. I'm still at a spot where I have to look back at my old videos and like plan out exactly every single move that I want to do if I want to film a combo or something. Um, so getting more confidence in that. And then I hope that I will still be working on Aisha Pole and that it will have grown. Hopefully I will have more sets in more different colors. I also created one set in plus sizes. It goes up to triple XL. But I hope that I can do that for all the sets so that they're just available and more accessible for everyone. It's just difficult when you're starting out to be very inclusive because you're very, very limited in what you can do. But hopefully the more I grow, the more I can be inclusive.
I love it. It's so fun to get to interview you in the beginning stages and learn from that. I hope we get to interview in the future because we definitely get love interviewing people a year or 2 years later to see where they're at. So if you're ever down for that, please let us know. It would be beautiful to see where you end up. I
Yeah.
can't wait. I think it's genius that you created the plus size because it's so important. It's so important.
Yeah, it's
Right?
tough to find um plus
Mhm.
size pull sets. And then you just don't have a lot of choices. So yeah.
Yes. Yes. Let's
Yeah.
start with 3 sets in a couple months more in a year. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Right? And then maybe in the future, men's sets.
I was going to ask, would you ever expand to men? Because I truly find it fascinating that you outsource because a big issue I have as a male pole dancer, you all know we have different body parts and stuff like that. And I buy a lot of the women's stuff, but it doesn't always help. And I can't really find male stuff. So I always wanted to like maybe create it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna learn how to sew. I don't have time for that. So the fact that you like outsourced it, I think that's genius. I never thought about that. Didn't even think you could. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Chris, now
Yeah,
Wow.
you can start your own line and Mathilde can be your mentor.
OMG,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah. I thought actually about doing some men's wear as well. Um, I'm always kind of stuck on this. I had the same issue with the plus size, which is I'm not plus size and I'm not a man, so I would need like someone to help me out because I can't model it. I can't really say what works and what doesn't. Um, but yeah, maybe in the future I can do collabs and look more into that.
Yes. That'd be
That
awesome. I think Chris is on mute. Well, I have one more question. I remember you said you had things that you did outside of pole. But oh yes, this is two parts. How many days a week do you train? Then what do you do outside of pole?
So when I started, I was doing 2 trainings per week. Um, since starting Ayesha Pole, I scaled down to 1 just because I had so many things going on and I didn't have a lot of money to spare and I had to job hunt at the same time. It was just a hassle. Um, hopefully I'll be going back to 2 because I just it's more fun. Going from 2 to 1 was like a bit of a hit because you just progress more slowly. It's just not as fun. Um, and things I've been doing outside of pool, I've been doing yoga for a very, very long time, Pilates as well, and then going to the gym to get all of this cross training and muscle reinforcement.
you're
That's
right. It is so very hard to train when you're doing all the yoga and Pilates. I forgot you mentioned that earlier, so maybe you can expand into that too.
Yeah, so I started even before I got my ankle issues.
Oh,
And then those are just the activities that I kept doing because they're very easy to modify the moves that you want to do. Um, and I usually do those at home. So you can do it, you can find tons and tons of Pilates and yoga workouts like on YouTube and they're free and you can do them whenever you want and you can do a 15-minute one, you can do 30-minute one, whatever you want. So those are just the ones that I stuck with. And yeah, they're quite good for mobility as well, because strength training is nice, but if you don't have the mobility, then you're stuck on a lot of things. So yeah.
I love
fine.
this. Do you is it safe to say you find it helps with your polling?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so, because it keeps me working on my flexibility and strength at the same time, which is really useful. And even though very honestly, I thought that it would help me at the beginning of my pole journey. I don't know if it really helped because I was still like first class, still wasn't able to do anything. Um, but I think on the long run, like I had the abs, I had the strength in my arms, like all the fundamentals were there, and then I was just able to build on that.
Love it. You said you were working on your splits too. How many do you train like several days a week for your splits or how's that going?
Yeah, I try to train. Um, it's not every day, but almost every day. Like whenever I have a workout, I will do like maybe 20, 30 minutes of stretching after that. Um, yeah, I only got more seriously into it like last year. And I started really from nothing. Like I've never been flexible. Even as a kid, I was just like not flexible at all. So it is taking a while, but I'm closer and closer every time. So
You are so dedicated. I love it. That's inspiring. I need to get on my flexibility journey.
I know, like regular 9 to 5 job, Ayesha Pole training.
Right?
I love
once
it.
it
Yeah.
becomes a habit, it's not the difficult part is like getting it to become a habit, and then it's easy once it's part of your routine. Um, but
You're
yeah, you just
right.
have to start and stick to it.
Right. That's the thing about flexibility too. Like it's like this much. It's like, oh wait, you can't
Yeah.
see. Like that much after like 3 months. But it's worth it.
Yeah, I will get that split on the pole. I will.
Yes. Hell yeah. That's one thing we'll check up on you next time we see you.
I really have to stick with it now.
Right? Like how are those splits?
Sorry. Now I have to do it. OMG.
But if your business takes off and like you have no time to for splits, I guess we'll understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it takes, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
2024. Yes.
Yeah, I wonder
Okay.
how many more sets do you think you can handle on your own? Like, I wonder, like, when is the point when you have to like start hiring people?
Yeah, I think maybe before hiring someone, I would um work with a distribution center. Because right now I have everything delivered at my apartment and then I send everything out myself. So I package it and then I go to the post office, which works for now. Um, but if I get to a point where I still have to work a 9 to 5 and I get more than like, I don't know, 5 orders per day or something, then you have to, I can't manage everything. So then I would probably work with the distribution center and they take care of everything. Like you get the stuff delivered to them and they receive the orders directly, they package it and send it to everyone. So it just works by itself. I actually wanted to start with that at first so that it would be more hands off. But the thing is, it costs a fee, of course. So it's like, you can do that when you scale, but at first just wanted to do it by myself.
Wow, that's so exciting. Sorry, I'm just so interested. I never heard any of the process of like clothing design before, and it's always been something that's interested me, but it's been so far away, but you really brought it close. So,
Possibilities are yes, so excited.
yeah.
Yeah, it's when I started, I didn't think that, like, I just threw myself in. I had no prior knowledge into any of this. But honestly, now, like, with the internet, it's so easy to, like, maybe not become an expert, but just find out things on your own. Um, and a lot of things, like, are made for small business owners, so you don't have to be this huge brand to, like, start anything, actually.
That's so good to know. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Do you have any other entrepreneurial tips when it comes to anything at all? Social media, websites, inventory, anything.
Um, I think a lot of what is discouraging for people is that it's not an overnight thing. Even things that seem to blow up on the internet or whatever, they're usually not overnight. It's people have been working on it for like months, if not years. So it's normal to not go from 0 to 100 right away. And every single day that you work on your project, every single step that you take, it's one more step that everyone else hasn't taken. So it's one more thing that's going to differentiate you and that's going to get you to your goals. So um, just keep working and it will, if it's meant to be, you'll get there.
Yes, I love it. Take that first step and keep trying.
Mhm.
It's like you said, you have to keep going because it doesn't happen fast. And a lot of people, from what I've heard and learned, quit too soon.
Yeah, I think that's the main issue because it's, especially if it's something that you've never done, you don't really know what to expect.
Mhm.
So when that time comes when you're not seeing like results immediately, it's a bit discouraging. Um, but honestly, the hardest part, at least of what I've done so far, was just getting started. Like, launching yourself, saying, okay, I'm gonna throw this much money in there, and then doing the photo shoot, setting up the website, everything. But once it's there, and you just have to keep the ball rolling, which is the easiest part, actually.
Yes. Oliver too, like before when you were speaking about it, you said that you had a plan, but you didn't end up going with that plan anyway. And like that's so important to note as well because like I think it is important to write a plan, of course. You can't go in all willy-nilly, but like you should also abandon that plan if it's not what's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what steps I had on the plan that I didn't follow, but I know a lot of it had to do with the timeline. Like I just thought that I would get samples much quicker, and I didn't really have a notion of how long it took to create like 500 sets of poleware. Um, and that takes a while, especially like I didn't really want to work with sweatshops or anything. I was quite conscious of that. So it just takes a while for everything to get done, which is just the reality. You can't do anything about it. So then I just had to adapt everything, but it worked out fine.
I and then I feel like I would be intimidated by having like thousands of product arriving at my house.
Yeah, when I saw the boxes, I was like, oh no, how like I could barely, I had to like struggle to push one into my apartment, and then I had to rearrange my whole dresser so that it would fit in there. But yeah. It was still fun though, like seeing something that you designed in person in like multiple sizes. That was really a great experience. Like I that feeling was amazing.
Hell yeah, right. That's awesome.
All right, it's a business Christmas present.
Yeah.
Right. Hopefully the loved ones that you live with don't mind the extra space if you live with anyone.
I'm living alone for now, so I only
Yes.
I only had to get rid of my clothes. It's okay.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, hopefully it
Well,
won't become too overwhelming and take over your whole situation. But at least there's the warehouses that can ship it out for you. That's so awesome. Yeah.
we can,
Yay. I think that was all the questions that I had.
I know. I'm looking at them now. Is there anything else that you want to share or mention? We're gonna have all the links and all the social media links that you sent us in the comments and the notes in the podcast audio and in the YouTube. But is there anything else you would like to share to anybody who might be going through something similar that you went through? Any entrepreneurs? Anybody living in Montreal? Anything?
Um, yeah, I would say for people who are interested in the pole stuff, Ayesha Pole, just stay tuned. I'm hopefully new things to come. And if you want to collaborate, just send me a message. I'm always open to new possibilities. And for people who do want to launch their own thing or even not necessarily to collaborate with anyone, just in any area of life, whether it's like job hunting or anything, reach out to people. A lot of people are just so happy to help. And they're so flattered, honestly, that you reach out to them a lot of the time. Um, it always works in your favor most of the time. And yeah.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that beautiful advice and everything that you shared with us today about your awesome journey and pole dancing and clothing and maybe other things to come in the future.
So thank you for your honesty with all that you're living with the ankle injury and the arthritis and everything as well, and how that affects you as a pole dancer.
Yeah, thanks. It was really fun. Yeah, I hope, especially with the disability, I hope that people can like hear this story maybe and then feel encouraged to start something new or try to figure out how some sports can work for them. Yeah, I think there's always this moment when you have a disability or something massive change in your life where you feel like this is the end of the world, nothing's gonna ever get better. Um, but it does, like the world keeps spinning and you will just learn to live with it and your life will be just as amazing.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes, thank you, Mathilde.
Well, I guess that this will conclude our very first interview of 2024.
Yes, thank you so much. We're gonna have all the links for Ayesha Pole and everything that you sent us in the comments. So make sure you check that out. I can't wait to see more sets that you come out. Yeah, if you're ever down for sponsorship, feel free to let us know. We'll definitely love to pass that out to our audience. Um,
Yes, and now we can add Montreal to our tour. We can come visit you and pole dance with you in person.
OMG. I can't wait.
Maybe
Um,
wait for the summer, then you're good.
That's true,
uh,
huh? It's winter, yeah.
I visited Montreal during January and it was it was so fun, but so cold.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like I know cold. I know cold here, but I don't think I would understand what cold is where you are. Well, on that note, I hope you stay very warm and safe. And thank you so much for sharing your journey with us on Pull on the Call. My name is Mandy Mac.
And I am Miss Rivers in my regular shoes.
And we're here with Mathilde of Ayesha
Until
Pole.